Okay, this is number 31 on the test 3 study guide. Alright, so the first thing that it wants us to do is it wants us to fill in this chart with the zeros, multiplicity, and behaviors at 0. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is everywhere that we have an x, we're going to set it equal to 0. So we don't have an x here with our first term. Alright, so we're going to start here. So we have our x minus 8. So if we have x minus 8 and we set that equal to 0, alright, well we add 8 to both sides. You get x equal to 8. So this is one of our zeros, is 8. And then same thing over here, we have an x here, so we have x plus 5. And we're going to set that equal to 0. Alright, so we're just going to subtract 5, so now we have x is equal to negative 5. And negative 5 is going to be one of our other zeros. Alright, and these are the only two that we have, so now let's look at the multiplicity. So our multiplicity comes from our exponents. So where we had our x minus 8, and we saw that we had 8. 8 is raised to the 4th power, so it has a multiplicity of 4. And the same thing with our negative 5, where we saw for our negative 5, with our x plus 5, we have an exponent of 2, so we have a multiplicity of 2. And then looking at our behaviors at the zeros, well, we know that because these are both even numbers, both of these behaviors at 0 are going to touch and turn. So I'm going to use t and t. So they're going to touch and turn at both of them. Alright, so now it's asking for our leading term. So our leading term is not only going to be our first number here, our leading coefficient, so negative 3, but it's also going to be x to our power, that's all of our x's. So we have here, we have x to the 4th, we also have x squared, so we're going to add those together, so we have x to the 6th. Alright, so our next one is the end behavior of the graph. Alright, so that, we're going to look at our leading term. So we know we have a negative, so it's going to be pointing down. And then we have it raised to an even power, so we know that it's going to be the parabola. So we have our parabola facing down, so both ends are down. And then our next question is the maximum number of zeros. Well, our maximum number of zeros is our highest term of x, which we found in our leading term. So our highest exponent is 6. So that's our max number of zeros. Our max number of turning points, well, that's just n minus 1. N is our 6. So 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. And then last thing we have is our y-intercept. So our y-intercept, so we're going to set everything equal to 0. So all of our x's equal to 0. So we have y is equal to, so we have negative 3. So we plug in 0 minus 8 to the 4th times 0 plus 5 squared. And then when you plug this into your calculator, you're going to get, I like to write it in a coordinate, so 0, comma, and you're going to get negative 307,200. And I just got that from plugging this right here into my calculator. And that gives you your y value, which is your y-intercept.